Hello dear students, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, that's Akifa's Commerce Classes. So in today's session we'll discuss about the chapter Rectification of Errors. So the first error that we'll discuss is errors of omission. So what I will do is, here I have a problem on errors of omission. So before starting the problem, I will just discuss in brief about the theory relating to the errors of omission. So errors of omission, it is an error when a transaction is either completely or partially missed from being recorded in the books of account. So errors of omission, there are of two types. First is complete omission and second is partial. So complete omission means that this kind of error, it arises when a transaction is not recorded completely in the books of accounts, or maybe if a transaction is recorded in the journal but completely omitted while posting in the ledger. So this error, it does not affect the trial balance. For example, cash worth ₹1000 was taken by the proprietor for personal use and it was not recorded in the books of accounts. So in such a case, what happens is the entry is not recorded at any place, neither at journal nor at ledger. So this is an example of complete omission. Next we have is partial. So this error, it arises when a transaction is not completely recorded in the books of accounts, or if the entry is completely recorded but it may not be completely posted in the ledger. For example, ₹600 were written off as depreciation on machine, but they were not debited to the depreciation account. So in this case, what is happening is, it's written in the machinery account, but while debiting, it has not been debited to the depreciation account. So it means only one part of the transaction has been recorded and the other part has not been recorded. So this is an example of partial omission. So this was about errors of omission. Now let's move on to the problem. Rectify the following errors. The first is credit sales to Mohan ₹7,000 were not recorded. Now it means that we have sold goods to Mohan and we did not record it. So here the entry will be Mohan account debit to sales. Now as credit sales to Mohan were not recorded, the rectification would be to record it. Now why did we record Mohan's account on the debit side? Because according to the golden rules of accounting, we have to debit the receiver and credit the giver. So here we are selling goods to Mohan, therefore Mohan is the receiver. So Mohan's account debit to sales account, and amount is 7,000 on the debit and the credit side. And the narration is being credit sales to Mohan, error rectification recording which was not recorded earlier. Next we have is credit purchase from Rohan ₹9,000 were not recorded. So here as the credit purchase from Rohan were not recorded, now here the rectification would be to record it. Therefore, now here in this example, Rohan is the receiver. So we debit the receiver, credit the giver. So in this example, we can see that Rohan is the giver. Therefore, according to the rule, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Therefore, purchase account will be debited and Rohan's account will be credited with 9,000 on the debit and the credit side. And the narration is being credit purchase from Rohan, not recorded earlier. Next we have goods returned to Rakesh 4,000 were not recorded. Now in this example, as goods returned to Rakesh were not recorded, here the rectification is to record it now. Now first we need to see that Rakesh is the giver or the receiver. Now here Rakesh is the receiver. So goods returned to Rakesh, it means somebody has returned goods to Rakesh. Now students, another important thing is that here you need to identify whether it is a purchase return transaction or a sales return transaction. Now this is an example of purchase return. Why? Because it says goods returned to Rakesh. It means goods have been returned to Rakesh. So you can return the goods only if you have purchased it earlier, right? So this is an example of purchase return. Therefore, the entry will be Rakesh account debit to purchase return account, debit side 4,000, credit side 4,000. And the narration being purchase return to Rakesh, not recorded earlier. And the last one says goods returned from Mahesh rupees 1000 were not recorded. Now in this transaction the goods returned to Mahesh were not recorded. So for this our rectification would be to record it. Now goods returned from Mahesh. Now Mahesh is the giver. So according to the rules of accounting, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So here Mahesh is returning back the goods. So this is known as sales return, just because he is returning the goods. In the previous examples, the goods were returned to Rakesh, and in this example, Mahesh is returning the goods. So this is an example of sales return. Therefore, sales return account debit to Mahesh account, 1000 on the debit and the credit side, and the narration being purchase return from Mahesh not recorded earlier. So this was an example of errors of omission. For your exams, you all may have a problem comprising of different types of errors. So for illustration purpose, in this video I have taken only errors of omission, wherein I have discussed about credit sales, credit purchase, purchase return and sales return. I hope you all have understood. If there are any queries or questions or any doubts, then please ask me in the comment section. Also, if you liked my today's session, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.